All right, it is deer season, so we are going to show you our step-by-step process of canning deer meat. We have some water in our pot already, in our pressure canner that is on. We stuffed our jars full of cube meat. We wanted to pack them in as tight as possible. You do not add any water, but we are going to add some salt. So we are going to take our teaspoon and we are just going to scoop it and put it right on top. You don't have to worry about mixing it in, just put it right on top of all of your jars. And then we are going to go in with a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And again, we're just going to put that right on top, right where all that salt is. This is going to give it some really good flavoring. And then what is next is our garlic. So you all know that I absolutely love garlic. You're going to put around 2 cloves in each. Some of them I put 3 in just because there's some smaller cloves in those ones. So again, just plop them right in on top. You can push them down a little bit if they're sticking up too high for you. Then we're going to put our lids on and get them in the water. So the water is warm already. So this is our second batch, so it's not completely full. When you're using a pressure canner like this one, you want to match that arrow up with the indentation there. So twist it on, twist that lid so that they match, and then you are going to fasten it one at a time. You want to start off lightly, like do not screw them super tight. Just get them so that they are holding that lid on there, and then you're going to work your way around. So I like to do opposites until they're all on, and then what I'm going to do is just pull them tighter. I know pressure canning can be really intimidating for a lot of people, and it doesn't need to be. If you're doing it the right way, you are not going to have any problems. So like I said, we're going to pull them a little bit tighter as we go once those are all up. And what you want to look for, you'll see here in a second, you want to check the seal. So what the distance of the lid sitting on top of the pot looks like. So you want it to kind of be the exact same on both sides. So you don't want it to be uneven. You are looking for an even seal right here. Right here. So you can see that one side is up a little bit higher. So we're just going to tighten. And again, we're just going to go around and tighten these until we are getting that even seal that we are looking for. Okay, so once that looks pretty even, we are going to wait. Keep that water on until you have a solid stream flow up there, and then wait 5 minutes, and then you're going to put your weight on top. So after that steam has been flowing for 5 minutes, put that weight on top, wait for it to start jiggling. It sounds like a rattlesnake. Once it's rattling, that is when it is good to go. That means it's up to pressure. So we are going to put it on for an hour and a half for our quart size jars. At that time then, what we are going to do is just turn the heat off. We are not going to do anything with the pot. We are just going to come over here, turn our heat off, and let it come down from pressure on its own. Once it hits 0, and that weight is going to not be moving anymore, we're going to take it off. It will be hot, so I used a pot holder. Take it off. There's going to be some steam that comes out. I like to give it some extra time. After that steam stops flowing, I'm going to set the timer again in order to let it really come down. So there's nothing happening anymore. Or actually right there, sorry, that was still steaming. So I set that timer. Once that was done, now I am going to unscrew them one at a time. I just work my way around. There's no order to having to do that. So once you have all of them unscrewed, you're going to untwist it because it has to unlock. And then I always open it facing away from me. You can see that I tilt it up. That way any steam is going that way. It's not going to hit me in the face, but it's just a safety precaution there. So we're going to set that off to the side. You can see our jars in there. And then we're just going to use our tongs to get them out of the canner and put them over on our towel. You can see, it's really cool. You can see when you're pressure canning, that liquid formed. I told you not to put any liquid in. That's because it's going to create its own juice as it cooks. And you can see it bubbling. That's a good sign. That means we're going to get a seal on these jars. So we really like our deer meat canned. We did it our first time last year, and it's just a really easy meal for soups and all the things. So there again, you can see it bubbling, which means it's going to seal. I have some jars beside there that we canned the night before. You can see a layer of fat has formed on top. And then some of them do have more fat than others, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. It just depended on what was in there. Okay, so now I am just, after 24 hours, it's had time to cool. All of the jars sealed, which is really good. We're just wiping them down because the grease does kind of transfer to the outside with these. When you're pressure canning, it kind of releases as it goes, so you want to wipe your jars down pretty good before you store them. So I'm just going in with some Dawn soap and a wet towel and then drying them off after that. I'll label all the jars and they will go down on our storage shelf, and we will have some awesome tender meat when we want it.